Hello and welcome to Irish Ears, a Disney fancast, your Irish viewpoint on Disney news with a petite focus on our second home, Disneyland Paris. We are your hosts. Megan is from Belfast and her socials are Megan Loves Magic. I'm Stuart from Dublin and my socials are DLP Tips for Irish. Let's get straight into the news as we record this on Monday the 4th of September. And it's an awful lot of news because we haven't had an episode in 3 weeks. So, Princess Week has come and gone.
Tell me all about it. You were there?
Yes, I was there, and yeah, it was grand. I'm like the show. Sorry, I'll just try and divvy it up into little pieces here. When you walked into the Disneyland park, you had princesses from the train station, and that was brilliant. That's something that should be done, I think, more often. Like princesses are probably, nearly as important as Mickey and Minnie, I would say, to Disneyland Park.
Definitely as popular. I would say, if not more popular in some cases.
So maybe, I don't know, twice a week or something, maybe have princesses just shake it up. But then again, if you have little Johnny and Mary are promised to see Mickey and Minnie up at the train station, they might get upset. Oh, but I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was something, there was a great picture. I think it was Arvid, Travel to the Magic. He put up a picture of Tiana just like chilling at the top and like looking over the kingdom, kind of saying, yeah, I'll take this place off of Aurora's hands, It was really good. But so, yeah, that was great. Like, you had princesses on the train station. And then, what else? Like, I didn't get too involved in the snack offering, to be honest. The prospect of an hour queuing for Victoria's to, get that slushy, melty Aurora cake.
It didn't look that nice. I wouldn't have bought that myself.
Yeah, as the week went on, I thought that the slush, well, for those listening, and, everyone's listening, you're not watching, obviously, but for those listening, it was, I'm not a foodie really, but it was a strawberry cream cake where on top of it, they had this plastic filling of, I'm going to say a yellow custard. I didn't taste it, so I can't really tell, but they lifted up the plastic filling and the pink custard kind of fell down on top of the strawberry cream cake and it looked like Aurora's dress. And as the week went on, that filling I felt got more and more watery. And like it just looked like a bit of a soup by the end of the week. So yeah, I mean DLP just doing DLP stuff with the snacks. So what can we say on that?
It's a great idea, but poor execution.
Yeah, and then you had the dead fish sundae. Or a milkshake. It was meant to be an ode to kind of, Ariel, and it was in the colours. It was in kind of Ursula's colours, which is strange. But it had a fishtail sticking out the back of it, and it just looked like a dead fish in a purple milkshake.
Not very appetizing, anyway.
No,
Pass.
And think of all the stuff you could do. I mean, they're planning this Princess Week. See, the problem is they only announced it like a month before, like officially a month before it goes live. So people haven't, booked trips, well, apart from me. They haven't booked trips with the promise of Princess Week. So it's hard to know whether they want to put a lot of effort into this or just have it as kind of a fun week. But I can tell you, I have about 30 collector's cards here of princesses. And, I'm trying to fill them all, but I haven't got them all. And they put a lot of effort into those. So we'll just see what they do in other times of the week.
I mean, I don't want to be cynical, but I think that I don't want to be too cynical, but I feel like announcing it a month before it happens is their way of getting away with doing the bare minimum. I feel if they had hyped it up as a proper season or a really big week, people would be coming there with an expectation of way higher than what they actually provided this year. But because it was kind of like a technic, unless you're like a super fan who knows when Princess Week is every year, it's a nice little extra, but you wouldn't book a whole trip based on that offering. Well, I wouldn't anyway.
No, and then moving on to one of the best parts about the whole week was that the show, the name of it escapes me, the official name is like a moment of courage and adventure, maybe I think it was. They made up this big whole spiel on the app. So it was a castle stage show, and it was just really good. It was fantastic. It was so good that it was such a shame it's only for 1 week. So I'm pretty sure everyone has seen it at this stage. I haven't put up my reel yet on it because I'm just terrible with content in the last week. But it's been busy week. Okay, I came back the day after I came back, and we had like all this news about that we're going to get into later about all the hotel and whatever. And it's just been ever since then we've all been just drained. So the Castle Stage show, that was lovely. That was like, you know, Tiana, Moana, Mulan, and
was Merida in it? Did I say Merida?
Merida, no? Yes. How could I forget Merida? Yeah, Merida. And that was great, you know, because it was princesses that don't really get a lot of time. I mean, everyone loves Tiana, like she's up there as a classic, as a modern classic princess. Yeah. But the rest of them are kind of princesses in name and not really by, you know, having fancy dresses and, you know, that kind of way. They're all just, their storyline is more like a princess storyline, and they happen to be the daughter of a king or a chief or whatever. So I thought it was really good that they got their time to shine. Merida doing her little dance. They had Moana with like the water in behind the castle stage was synchronized to her dance. And then they had Mulan changing from, you know, her kind of, I'm going to get it all wrong now, my Chinese explanations here, but she changed into Ping, you know, the warrior Mulan halfway through. And they used like, a clever use of umbrellas to kind of get her changed and whatever. And yeah, it was just fantastic music, fantastic. Like, it was boiling hot that like pretty much the whole week. So everyone was just roasting hot because just the way the castle stage is orientated in front of the castle, like you're all staring at the sun kind of. So but it was well worth it. It was like 10-15 minutes. It was packed every single time, and the cast members smashed it, you know, the dancers smashed it. And yeah, like, God, they could have that so more often. They could nearly put it on a stage somewhere like Frontierland or something every few weeks. I know Frontierland is obviously a permanent structure of the Lion King show, but they could find a spot for that. And all the effort that went into that show for a week.
The castle stage as well is such a wasted space, I think, at Disneyland Paris at the moment. Like, it's been a long time since there's been like a proper long-standing show there, because we had Are You Brave Enough that never came back after COVID. Same for the Starlight Princess Waltz as well. It's just such a shame that there isn't a stage there. And like, being so close to Fantasyland and the Princess Pavilion, like, they could equally put it there.
Yeah, it's perfect because you have Auberge kind of backing up onto that stage, and it all kind of leads in that the princesses will be, you know, living in behind Auberge or whatever, and they come out, that sort of thing. And then they're obviously revitalizing the annual, which we'll get back to later, but the annual pass office.
Woohoo!
So that whole area should be brought back to life. It's crazy because I walked through that area so fast. It's one of my areas that people should propose in because you should not propose on castle stages or like, you know, plaza stages. But there's a little gate down just to the bottom right hand corner of the castle. You know this, but like, you had to go to Alani to get engaged. But that's a lovely spot to get engaged. Or if any fellas are listening or ladies are listening, you know, they're going to pop the question soon.
It's a good spot for Instagram pictures as well.
Exactly.
I've got a bunch of pictures there.
So yeah, they should definitely keep that. I thought it was fantastic. I'll try and put up, keep an eye on my socials the next few days. I'll try and get rid of all the content that I took in my 3 days trip, because that was one of the highlights. And then for the rest of the stuff, like, we did Princess Pavilion twice. Now, you know, disclaimer, we had a priority pass for the trip, so I would not be doing 2 to 3 hours. Like I saw today, it was 190 minutes as we recorded this on the 4th of September. So I would not be waiting 3 hours and 10 minutes for Princess Pavilion to meet one princess. Like, I love the interactions. They're fantastic. Cast members make it magical, but 3 hours queuing is not worth anything for me personally.
Not a chance.
I don't think I'd queue. What would I queue for? Like, lunch with Natasha for 3 hours maybe, but but like, you know, Princess Pavilion. So we went twice. The first time we got Aurora, she was lovely. You know, it was obviously her kingdom. She welcomed us and she was just fantastic. And the second time, there was a monumental shift in the Earth's tectonic plates, and we eventually met Belle. And I don't know if you heard the audio that I put up on my Instagram, but my daughter went around the corner first because, I like to get her reaction to the princesses. And she turned to me straight away. And I have the video too. Like, I shared the video with you, but she turned to me first and said, "It's Belle, it's Belle." And then she turned back to me to see my reaction. And it's like, Belle is standing there going, "Hello, you're here for me." it was more like the concept of meeting Belle. And it was just like, again, it wasn't special to Princess Week or whatever, but it was just so perfect that we met her during Princess Week.
That video fantastic. Melted my heart. Like, it was lovely. That's such a nice memory for you to have, like, to keep forever, like, even when she's older.
I don't know how to share without sharing her face, so I mean, it's going to stay private for now. But like the rest of the stuff, the princess meet and greets that were out in the park were just massively busy. So they had one beside Arbre Enchanté, the Rapunzel meet and greet where like Maleficent is during Halloween. And that was like mental. That was three hours plus of people queuing and people. Yeah.
I was just about to ask, did those queues outside move any quicker than the pavilion? But evidently not. No,
because people knew it was Rapunzel. So you had all these people who were camping out from magic time. So from, 8:30, 9:30, all decked in Rapunzel Disney bounds because they knew they were going to meet Rapunzel. So that's the problem when the guaranteed princess is that people go the extra, mile and do Disney bounds and prepare for meeting Rapunzel. Mm-hmm. So if they're there for a day or two, they want to meet Rapunzel no matter what. If it's 3 or 4 hours, hell be it. And like even the priority queues for Rapunzel were 3 hours. Like I went up and I saw 2 queues forming, and I asked the gentleman queuing, I said, "Are you in the priority queue?" And he goes, "Yeah, this is where I've started making it." Because there's no cast member there 3 hours before the character comes out. Like, so it's a bit crazy. There was another one over beside the Old Mill, and that was a bit less busy, but the second day we were there, we wanted to try and go meet Merida over at Frontierland. So we went over to try and meet Merida, and they said, "Oh no, she's full, come back at 2:30. So we went back about 2, and there was already massive queues again because you knew you were meeting Merida.
Insane.
So yeah, insane. And I have a little bit of content about Merida too, because got a little bit of pixie dust on that. You'll see it in the next few days. Because she's Celtic lass. She's a Celtic lass. She put out the call.
I love her. I always stop whenever I see her.
Oh, she's fantastic, and she's so much the opposite of, like Aurora and Belle and Cinderella walking through Princess Pavilion or through the Princess Crossing, as I call it, in front of Small World. She skips through the whole place, and she's doing her, like, even on the Princess carriage in Stars on Parade, she's doing her like strongman poses and, like, shooting her arrows and stuff. Like, she's everything but a princess, but she's a perfect princess, if you get me.
Yep, 100%.
So yeah, more Merida, please.
Yeah.
And like that was pretty much it for Princess Week. Like, we had the collector's cards; they were fantastic. I still haven't gotten the full thing, so I'm hoping some pixie dust comes my way and people either send it, because I've sent out loads of cards that I had extra cards, because like for some reason Ariel was very available in the princess cards. So I'm just hoping to make a little collection and maybe frame it or something, because it's a cool thing. These collector's cards are fantastic, and I hear they're coming more to the American parks after successfully being trialed or just being so popular in Paris.
Who do you need? Do a shout out in the podcast. Which princesses do you need? And if someone's listening, they can send you the ones
I haven't even got the list. I think because there's someone in the post to me, but on post Irish Mail basically has been terrible in the last week. So there's some in the post to me. I think like Rapunzel, Aurora, Cinderella, that type of part of the world. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm just gonna like slide into the DMs of everyone who I know that was there the week of Princess Week and be like, hook a brother up,
Stick it up in the stories as well, your Instagram stories, and someone's bound to come forward and say they've got it. I'll share it whenever you've done it.
Please God. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So we shall move on from Princess Week because that was pretty much it, I think. Like, as we summed it up, not worth banking on because it's never a banker. Like, you don't know it's definitely going to be the final full week of August. But if you were booking for August and you had a Princess Mad kid or whatever, or you were Princess Mad yourself, the final full week of August might not be a bad week to guess that it's coming up. That's my point of view.
Yeah. 100%.
So, skipping over from the castle stage to the old AP office, which is just behind. It's that kind of massive dome building that's behind Buzz Lightyear. And we have the first raft of Disneyland Pass pop-up surprises. Say that fast. Disneyland Pass pop-up surprises.
Pop-up surprises.
And, like, to no surprise, really, we have Tinkerbell, because it's kind of like everyone knew it was going to be Tinkerbell. But from the content I've seen from my friends who've been there so far, major FOMO, of course. I just riveled with FOMO here for Tinkerbell. The little scene they've done for her, and she has pixie dust all over her hands. I don't know if you've seen that. And she throws it up in the air and stuff. It looks like a great meet. People are saying that you get more time with them.
Yeah, I would imagine so, with less people, because like the regular kind of day guests aren't allowed to join that queue. So they've probably purposely limited the number of annual pass holders who can meet her each day to maximize the quality of the interaction. Because again, if you're paying that money for the gold annual pass, the perks need to be worth it.
Yes. I am paying that money. I'm trying to pay that money currently with Disneyland Paris. They're so hard to like send in bank statements and stuff. It's
an awful lot of faff, isn't it?
It's faff central. The second pop-up surprise is an alternating day between Hortensia and Oswald. And I know you're mad for herself.
Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad for herself mostly, but also himself. But Tinkerbell, I was kind of like, oh, it's okay because I met Tinkerbell at Disneyland and she's there all the time, so that's okay. I wasn't too sad about that one. But when I saw Oswald and Hortensia, I was like, my soul left my body. Like, oh. But then, like we were saying as well, though, you can only really meet one of the two because you can only hold one reservation per block of surprise meets. So if they're alternating day by day, whoever is there on your day is the one you're going to get. I mean, like, I would love to get Hortensia, but like at the same time, Oswald is beautiful as well. So those are exciting for me. I wasn't expecting to see two characters. I thought it was going to be one character.
Yeah, well, 3 in total. If you play your cards right, because I think what a lot of very clever pass holders did was you can bring pass holders with you into this. Like once you have the reservation, you can bring. So it's a reservation for up to 3 or 4 people, I think.
But they all have to be pass holders.
Yeah, I think that's it. I remember reading that. So if you say me and you had a pass, I would book it for today. You would book it for tomorrow. We would bring each other, and we would like. You had to be super in the know to know that you were going to get different people on different days, which clearly some large outlets who do God's work are given the heads up that's going to be 2 characters on 2 different days. So they arranged this. But yeah, so maybe for the next one, if people are planning, and it's terrible because I'm giving tips for people to just book up all the slots. But who knows when the next slot's going to be, because we don't know if it's going to be like, September now. So is it going to be December? Is it going to be January?
I'm thinking maybe
January. A month in advance.
I think maybe January, because there's not a lot going on in January at the moment. Like, I feel like that could be something to fill the gap for pass holders at least. Because Christmas is just going to be hectic because it's Christmas season. But it might be something to bring people in and spend money in January.
Yeah. Well, like, they're only giving people a month's notice. They're not going to get many people flying in.
No.
Apart from me. So, yeah, I'm really impressed by the pop-up surprise. I'm still kind of looking at slots, whether they come up or not, maybe on a Friday or on a Monday, and then booking a last-minute flight just because that's who
just
I am.
To see.
And but yeah, I should have booked it. I went to look at it, and there was loads of slots, and I said, I'm going the end of August, I'm going the end of September. like does not make sense for me to go over in the middle, and I'm majorly regretting the fact that I didn't just book a, make it happen. Just say yes and make it happen somehow.
Yeah.
Because even like I knew people who were going over the last few days, and they would have obviously had extra like capacity, whatever, on their reservation, who I'm sure would have been friendly enough to invite me in with them. But yeah, I think next time I'm just gonna just go for it, because these look like pretty special meet and greets, and everyone I've spoken to, I've heard post or put up content, has been mega impressed. Like, it's one of those things. Nobody's been impressed by the Disneyland Pass changes, but everyone has been impressed by these meet and greets. So you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Oh, well, they had to do something. So I'm glad it's this, and I'm glad that it's been so well received, because hopefully they'll keep it up.
The next AP party is coming up in, is it 4 weeks? Less than 4 weeks. 3.5 weeks this stage nearly. So it's a villainous night. It was meant to be a 30th anniversary wrap party, and then they changed it. I don't know when they changed it, but they changed it. They didn't think to update, the metadata on their website. So when you went to book, when you went to book the tickets, on top of it you saw 30th anniversary show, whatever, like just finishing up show, whatever. So yeah, villainous night. I'm hugely looking forward to going. I'm going to be heading over, and it starts at, I think it's 9:30. I'm going to say, and your ticket to the party is valid from 6:30, open till 2:30 a.m. and an awful lot of villains out for the night. No meet and greets, which I know has completely put you off any party in Disneyland Paris forever.
Big time, not interested no more. No,
it's basically a no Megan party. It's like no Homers, no Megans, no meet and greets.
No so meet and greets. I'm not going.
Yeah. Very strange again.
And it's stupid, like, in my opinion, that they've made it villainous night, because like it's the 29th, right, of September.
Yep.
Yeah, and what is on the 30th? The grand finale of the 30th anniversary. Like, how are they going to go between Halloween and 30th and Halloween and 30th? Like, it's so stupid.
It's very strange, because Halloween is obviously going to be in full swing on the 1st of October. So they're going to be putting up stuff on the 29th, 30th for the 1st. And so, like, is the park going to be all Halloween-y for the 29th? Then how is it going to look for the 30th grand finale, big day? Like, I was speaking to some I don't know. Like, I was speaking to some cast members there when I was over last week, and they said, "Are you coming over for the party?" And I said, yeah. Obviously, it's a great weekend to come, whatever. And they said that, like, with the rotas, if you work the party on the 29th, you cannot work then, early in the day on the 30th. So people, they're going to miss, like, these are the guest flow cast members, so they're going to miss, like, all, if not half, of the Dream and Shine Briders on the last day. So they don't want to work the party.
Obviously.
So I don't know. It's classic DLP. I know we slag them off so much, but like, they just put their foot in it so much, don't they?
So much. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why that's the chosen date. If they wanted to do a villainous night party, then do it during Halloween season, not mid 30th finale. It just, I don't know. Oh, we'll never understand it. It'll never make sense.
Here's an idea, Disneyland Paris. Like, let's rewind. And I love villains, right? I love Halloween. So do you. Everyone loves it. All in on Halloween, 1st September. Let's go. Okay? All in. Beautiful.
Yeah.
But this was teed up for the 30th anniversary wrap party, basically. And all you had to do was have meet and greets or selfie spots with the Fab Five in their anniversary gear, which no one has done so far, because only cast members at these, like, very select invite only things. Have them, and then have Dream and Shine Brighter in the dark. Do you know?
Yes.
Maybe put on, I know this is like, I'm just very nonchalant, like, just spouting this out now, but perhaps a little drone show, for the 30th anniversary, like a special kind of conglomeration of D-Light part 1 and part 2 or whatever. Like, just, I don't know, just do something. And it would have been nearly enough. Like maybe have all the merch at like cost price just to ship it.
Yeah.
And like that nearly would have been enough. Like have the best parts of the anniversary all in one night instead of having it like the last Dream Shine Bright is going to be at like 4:00 on the 30th. So people are going to be wrecked by the time 2:30 comes along.
Big time.
And you have to put on your spooky face at kind of 9:00. Very strange.
It's bizarre. But have fun.
Yes, I will. Don't worry. I think. In fairness, I'm bringing my daughter, so I don't think we're gonna last. If I last to midnight, I'll be doing well with her. So, but judging by the last AP party in March, I was amongst adults or whatever, and I'm sad I didn't go home at midnight as well, because like I hope when I was buying my ticket for this, obviously they listened to me being so important. I went on to the chat for the Facebook chat with Disneyland Paris, and before I bought my ticket, like 3 days beforehand, I said to them, "Is this going to be like a fully remotely bilingual party, with English? If they're doing another treasure hunt type thing, aren't they? So is it going to be in any way friendly to non-French speakers or people who don't have a fluent grasp of French?"
Yeah.
And she just said that she was going to pass on my comments to the team.
That's nonsense but like this is last year, whatever event there was that they did the treasure hunt last time, and it was all in French. Like there was overwhelming feedback from all the guests who went there that it wasn't accessible for people who weren't fluent in French. Like what they should have done there is listen to that feedback then and made the next one more accessible.
Yeah. But it was so exclusionary. It was just like you were walking around with an app that was all in French, like a website that was all in French. And you could use Google Translate, but so you had to take down the clues in French, translate them, and then you had to upload the answer in French. So you really had to know your French. And I know a lot of people, like, it's really unfair, I think, because obviously we're English speakers. English is our first, second language on the island of Ireland, and we're kind of privileged in that respect. But like, it's English, unfortunately, is a common language across Europe. I think a lot of countries just learn it as their second or third language. So if you're going to pick a language to unify a lot of Europe, it's obviously English, who don't want to be in the EU. But like, that's just the way it is. Like if I'm meeting people from the Netherlands or from Spain or from Germany who are at Disneyland Paris, like we speak English to each other because they know more English than I know German, whatever. So yeah, we'll see. I'm hopeful.
We'll see.
They usually pull off the kind of moments in the night pretty well.
Yeah,
but we shall see. It's going to be dark. It's going to be fun.
I hope for everyone's sake they do make it a bit more accessible, because it's like when you're paying that amount of money to go to an event, you at least expect to be able to do access the main selling points of it. But
yeah, and I will say, like, the selfie spots with the characters, like the rare characters, are very much selfie spots, like distanced, like COVID PTSD. But with like Pluto, for example, was out on Main Street in his little chef outfit, and he was all over you. And then Cruella de Vil was in front of Main Street Motors there, and she was all over you and interacting like a weapon,
Yeah.
Whereas Merida was in Cowboy Cookout. Merida was, 2 meters away from everyone for some reason, on the little stage in Cowboy Cookout. And then you had Coda, who was like, they're all so distanced, but like, I don't know. Hopefully they've learned, and hopefully
maybe
it's better.
Just make the lines quicker, I guess.
Yeah, but people just hanging out waiting for the perfect selfie. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because all selfie cameras are crap, like at nighttime especially. So if you're taking a selfie, you're trying to get the character to stop moving, you to stop moving, and it takes longer than it would have just with a photographer just snapping. So,
yep.
Right. Moving on to happy news. Happy news, where Disneyland Paris listens to the masses, and we finally have shawarma at Avengers Campus. It's being inserted into the Super Diner, at the back of Avengers Campus. And of course, I didn't try it out because I just I needed something to please a group that I was in, and shawarma was not one of those things. Now it's a pity because I was thinking of bringing the shawarma over from Super Diner into Stark Factory, but it just maybe it doesn't travel well. But it looks super nice. It looks fresh. You have something different now from the Reuben that made no sense. The sad Reuben. Across the road from Super Diner is a hot dog food truck, which is a bit random in my mind. I mean, if they had the Super Diner doing shawarma and they had that truck doing kind of slider hamburgers, that would cheeseburgers. I know you're not mad into Marvel, but Tony Stark's daughter had a big joke with Happy, who was his driver, about cheeseburgers. So cheeseburgers are complete IP for Avengers Campus, yeah. In the same way that shawarma is IP for Avengers Campus. And like this random noodle bowl of broth has to go as well, I feel. Apparently it's nice, but it just doesn't belong there. I don't know what they're doing.
I'm excited to try the shawarma though. I tried it in the Avengers Campus in California and it was actually really good. So I hope that the same amount of like effort has been put in there for the one in DLP. I love shawarma though, so I will definitely try it on my next trip for sure. That'll be like top of my food list. So I'll feed back.
It should, because it's not a busy spot. Like down the back of Avengers Campus, not a lot of people go there. So it should be quiet enough for the restaurant staff to put a bit of love into the presentation, etc. Like I got a very sad hot dog in Casey's Corner recently and it wasn't busy. So I don't know, no excuses, but it was very sad. So whenever you feel that the restaurant staff are putting a bit of love into what they're actually serving, that's all you want, really. On just a footnote, I didn't actually go into Casa de Coco either. It was just order of the trip was nice, accessible food, slightly fussy eater. So I didn't go into Casa de Coco because, again, there's not much accessible things like in there for the group I was in. But next time, hopefully, I'm going to do Casa de Coco and the shawarma at Avengers Campus and see how that goes, because new food, new like anchor food things is nice. I was really excited for Hakuna. Yeah, what are you saying?
So you'd only really be going into Casa de Coco just to see the interior, wouldn't you really? Well, that's kind of my take on it, because the food's pretty much the same as what Fuente del Oro was. I'd love to just go in, see the inside and scoot out again. Well,
it's packed. Casa de Coco is packed ever since the reopening. I don't know, like they're going to have to raise the prices or something to stop the crowds or whatever, because it's just so full. And apparently they've changed the recipe of the frozen margaritas. Did you hear that?
They look gloopy. They don't look like they don't look like margaritas anymore. They look like they're too green. Like,
it looks like medicine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
I mean, I'll still drink it. I'll still try it, but I'm not looking forward to it the way I was.
On the topic of drink, actually, I was thinking that, do you know what would go really well with the shawarma in Avengers Campus is a good dirty pint. Do you know, like a good pint of lager? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it would.
Beer is not really Avengers Campus vibe, though. You're training to be a hero, so
Natasha.
I don't know if that's really going to fit. Natasha, stop. Speaking of Avengers, Powered Night is back. It's now Mark II, and it just debuted 3 days ago. And to nobody's surprise, they have enhanced it. They've added a few bits into it. They've mixed it up a little bit, not to spoil too much, but we get a little bit more. There's like an Iron Man drone situation going on at the start.
Cool.
And then they have a little bit at the end where the Spider-Man surprise used to be. There's another surprise. And they have a bit of Guardians in there with the ship, the Benatar, in drones and stuff. So yeah, it's fantastic. And anybody who loves the version 1 should go see it again, because it's a different show. It's the same soundtrack and same vibe. You're the end of your day, recruits, well done, blah blah. But it's brilliant. And like I said, these guys with the drones never standing still. They're just like, whenever they just put out a show like Powered Night, I'd say they're there looking at the next quarter or whatever, like 3 or 4 months down the line. We're going to get a new drone show in the Castle Park, which we'll talk about later. And they're working on that, and then when they launch that, they're going to launch something else, and it's just like never standing still. I love it.
I love that. It needs to be like that. It needs to be like that to keep up with the other parks around the world that are constantly getting new entertainment. Like, if they're not going to, well, now they are getting us some new shows, but when they weren't, like, the old stuff needed to keep getting plus and plus and plus to keep people interested. So the drones team are awesome. Like, up the drones.
Yeah, and I feel that, like, the Marvel content at the moment, we have a new Disney Plus Marvel show every month, it seems. And we have Loki coming up in October, which is going to be a huge one. But like with drones, the way they're so adaptable, they're so diverse. You can kind of change it up. You can I don't know what the amount of work goes into this. Obviously, it's a lot and way beyond my station. But at the end of the day, it's software. It's software with drones acting out the software in the sky. So you can change things so fast. If you have a new show, like they brought out, remember the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, and they had a special drone show for that one night. Like, it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gone from my dictionary, but they can just change it so fast to adapt to the new IP, and it's brilliant. Like, I love it. So we shall move on then to things that are happening in Disneyland Park on October 16th, which is a big day for the company and not a huge day for Disneyland Paris. It's going to be very interesting. It's the Disney 100 anniversary, 16th of October, 2023. And we don't know what to expect really from this day. It's one day, so they can't do the park up too much. There's going to be probably new merch because that's all been out for a few months. The celebration has been ongoing in the US parks for many, many months. It hasn't hit the Asian parks at all, from what I can see.
No, not really.
It's a bit of an anomaly, isn't it?
It's one day is it really amazes me that they haven't gone harder on it. I know everyone loves the LP30. I love it too, but I would personally, and I've probably said this before in this podcast, I would rather have seen them curb the 30th earlier and had a Disney 100 season like they had in the American parks, because they had, like, obviously Disneyland Paris didn't really have new rides opening or whatever, but they had the characters meeting and greeting in new outfits. They decorated the parks. There was loads of merch absolutely everywhere, and they really milked it. And it is a huge milestone for the company. So I'm really surprised that they have opted to just go for one day, and it's smack bang in the middle of Halloween season as well. So it's not like they can take Halloween out of the park for the day and put it back in. It's like the villain night thing again. It's just logistically, I just don't really know how it's going to work. And I hope they do something amazing. I would love to see something amazing, but I have little faith that there's gonna be something. Like, my brain always goes to the 25th anniversary, that big celebration that they did, and they had all the characters coming down in those little tricycles, and it was a huge big spectacle. Like, I compare everything to that now, so I'm like, that's what Disney 100 to me deserves. It deserves something massive like that, but just with the way that they've got one day and it's sandwiched in the middle of something else, it's really hard to, like, have high expectations for what they're going to do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do pull something amazing out of the bag, but I just can't see it in such a short time frame.
It feels like a celebration on the same level as, like, Polka Dot Day, or
yeah,
something.
That's so
where
grim.
They're going to give out stickers, and they might have one or two characters with an insanely long meet and greet time, and that's going to be it. Because, as you said, like, everyone knows Disneyland Paris goes hard on Halloween. Like, that whole Main Street area is going to be, like, garlands. All the ghosts are going to be out. The gazebo is going to be orange. They might even have the railroad station done up with Halloween gear. So, like, for them to turn it into this purple and silver party is going to be strange.
And it's, and like you said about the meet and greets, like, if there is, like, rare characters out, if you're there for Disney 100 Day and you're a character person, you're going to be in that line for the entire day. Like, you're not going to see anything else, because these rare characters coming out are going to attract such mayhem because it's only like a whatever opening hours of the park. It's, I don't know, it's not been sold to me, unfortunately. I'm just a bit under.
And it's it feels like it's a random Monday, so it does feel a bit strange. Like it's obviously you can't pick the day that the Walt Disney Company was founded, so I'm pretty sure they would have picked a weekend if they could have. So it is going to be strange. Like it's not to my mind any sort of French holiday in October, although they sneak up, but I don't think it is. No, and it's strange. Like obviously what's going to happen here is that I'm going to be glued to Twitter all day. Sorry, X. And going to be major FOMO for some sort of massive event that we didn't see coming. But for the moment, it's just been like a graphic that's been released for the day.
And it's next month. It's next month as well. Like you would need more detail about what they're going to do to make people come. Like I know locals will come, but like you need to sell it to people from afar to book a trip to come and see this amazing celebration. I don't know, it's not doing it for me. I wish it would, because I love this. I love Disney 100. I love the color schemes. I've loved everything the other parks have done to celebrate it, but one day, and I'm starting to get lots of questions too in my DMs and stuff from people going, what's happening on the 16th of October? And I'm like, I genuinely don't know. Like there is no indication at all about what's going to happen. Like nothing, not even a whisker has been leaked or anything. So
nada.
I don't know.
I think people are expecting some sort of Inside Ears event. I know we're not in Inside Ears. And Natasha, if you're listening, hello. But I think people are expecting something from Inside Ears, like the way they usually put on a gala event in Hotel New York or something, where they're going to have a meet and greet over there. But
that's great,
it's a hard
but if you're not
sell.
Inside Ears,
no, and very few are. Like my problem here is that it's along the same lines again of Disneyland Paris, and clearly I have a bias here, but really playing up to people who can travel on very short notice, and that's just locals really. And I mean locals by people in the Paris region. I think if you were within an hour and a half of Marne-la-Vallée, you would probably be able to make the trip.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really scream. It's kind of like Disneyland Paris is operating on two different levels at the moment. One for like they're really trying to suck in all these families with their high spending hotel stays.
Yeah. And
then with the Disneyland Pass and the events, pop-up surprises, and Disney 100 Day, they're leaving and Princess Week, they're leaving the information getting out to so late before the event that it's really only suitable for locals. So if you're a quintessential, 2 adult, 2 children family staying once every 5 years in Hotel New York Spider-Man suite, they love you. Or if you're a local with an annual pass, they love you, but they don't like anything in between. Maybe they've just worked out that like revenue is optimized by those two groups and everyone else can just go swivel.
Yeah, basically. Like if you can make it good, if you can't, like they'll not miss us.
Yes, but this is, don't get me wrong, folks, this is a positive podcast. We are in love with everything to do with Disney parks, and we just really love when they do better and they really smash things. And when they don't, we'll call it out and we'll try and suggest things. For obviously Natasha's listening, Josh Tomorrow's listening. Yeah. Maybe
Natasha listens every week.
Yes, of course. Let's not be unrealistic. Like probably Bob Iger is not listening. I'd say his secretary probably is listening, and secretary probably relays bullet points to Bob. So
the memo appears on his desk every Monday morning.
We have Natasha, we have Josh, and we have Bob, kind of Bob's secretary. So we just want to give feedback. And again, like, for all the kind of super fans that listen to this podcast, like if you listen to this podcast, you are a super fan because you're listening to an hour or two of two strange people talk about Disneyland Paris or Disney parks in general. So, news flash, you are a super fan. We all want Disneyland Paris to do better, or Disney parks to do better. So it's not a negative thing. It's just a bit of crack,
And because we know they can, that's the thing. It's like, especially with Disneyland Paris, we know they can do better because we've seen them do it. So it's just like, don't let it slip. Princess Week being a good example. Like last year's one was way better with the Princess Parade and everything. Like we know they can do more. So that's why we seem harsh on it, but it's not. It's just because we've seen what it could be, and everything's getting a wee bit stripped back sometimes, and it's just frustrating.
I didn't get Brandy's Starting Now at all. I got Aujourd'hui, the French version. It was fine. It was good. I love it, but it's a banger, and last year they had, sorry to go back to Princess Week, but last year they had the parade, and basically when the parade went like north, it was Aujourd'hui, and when it was going south, it was Starting Now. And that was just the perfect little balance of the two languages. But so on the topic that we're not massively negative, we're going to have two very meh updates of news, and then we're going to finish with super exciting news. So the first meh thing is the Halloween Christmas festivals, which are basically copy and paste from last year. Okay, next. No, we'll go in a little bit. So with Halloween, we obviously have villains out in the parks. We're going to get Maleficent there in Fantasyland. We're going to hopefully have like
Captain Hook.
Hook is always about, though. In fairness, he's always
Mr. Smee. Jafar. I'm trying to think of like who the usual culprits are.
Do you know what would be a great meet? Do you know what would be a great meet? Just came into my head there, just through the window. The Phantom. Wouldn't the Phantom be an unbelievable meet in front of Phantom Manor?
Natasha.
Oh my God! Where Mickey meets.
Yeah,
that'd be incredible.
Or even just Melanie. The Ravenswood, Melanie Ravenswood would be class.
Man. There we go. And that actual spot, that would make a really good selfie spot.
It would.
Because those two can be a little bit in, and people just do a constant loop. So anyway, we're going to have snacks. We're going to have Nightfall, which is this kind of like 5 or 10 minute. It's not a drone show. It's a light show before Disney Dreams, with like, it's basically 5 minutes of villains laughing at you. So I skipped it last year. We went over for Halloween last year. I just skipped it because it was on at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I didn't think it was worth staying up with my daughter until 11 to see 5 minutes of laughter.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. It looks cool. I just wish it was earlier. And then, do you know the way at the moment they play a Monkey See Lamine around the fountains around the castle in Disneyland Paris? So like just throughout the day, randomly you'll hear a Monkey See Lamine and everyone going, whoa, and the fountain's going off. They play Wicked, the show from Tokyo Disneyland. Wicked.
Oh, yes.
They play that randomly, and that's what they play to Nightfall as well. And they usually have a castle stage show with, like last year they had Eva Queen, Dr. Facilier and Cruella on the stage show. In years past, they had Ursula in her kind of Ursula mobile. The kind of...
yeah, I saw that one. That was good. And
that looks fantastic.
That was really good. And then they also had the year after that, it was selfie spots. So it was Maleficent and then like Captain Hook, Mr. Smee, or Maleficent and two other villains that you just took selfies with. The names have escaped me, even though I went to it like 100 times because Maleficent was savage and I loved it.
Like, she is savage.
She was nasty and it was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I was like, right, go on, roast me. What have you got today for me? Like,
yeah.
Is it my outfit? Is it my hair? What is it?
Yeah, stop. My daughter dressed up as Mal last year, and she brought a little spell book from Descendants. And when Maleficent saw this, she was like, oh God. She's like, how long do you want me to stay? Because like she was going through the spell book, and she was like, oh, I see, we can use this, and like she was totally getting into the spell book, and it was fantastic. She's an unreal meet, probably one of the best meets in the parks, I would say.
I'd agree. I would agree.
She's queen villain. And then moving on, I suppose that's really it for Halloween. Like, I love Halloween. It's just spooky season all around. You get magic shots with ghosts and stuff. and the decor, the garlands, it gets dark nice and early. Usually have a few snacks, and yeah, it's fantastic. I think I've been to 2019. There was no 2020. I've been to 2021, 2022, and I'm going to be there for a few hours this year on the 1st of October.
It's the best.
So, like, I would definitely say if you love Halloween at home, definitely make it over if you can to Halloween at Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, if it's your first time going to Halloween at Disneyland Paris, you will absolutely love it. Like, it is really, really good, and you'll be really happy with the offerings. It's just more for people who have been before. It's kind of like, don't expect there to be anything different from the last couple of years. It's going to be like much the same stuff, but it's still really good. It's still really good. It's just, would have been nice. That's actually a motto for extra.
That's actually a motto for Disneyland Paris in general. If you've
never been, it'll be class.
If you've never been, it'll be the best Disneyland Paris you've ever been to. But in general, like parties, seasons, etc., like they tend not to improve massively year on year. So if you've been to one, like the next year is not going to be so much better. But like a new season might be amazing. So anyway, more about the new season later on. Christmas season sneaks up right after. So we have Halloween season. We have a few special fireworks for Bonfire Night, which are now in Disneyland Park, which is very exciting. Magic Over Disney. I think it's like the 6th and the 8th of November. And that's exciting because last year Magic Over Disney was at Studios, and it was very smoky and very kind of, off the tower and stuff like that. So it's exciting to see what they do, because I can't believe they're going to have 2 full-on fireworks shows at the castle in one night. That's a lot of organization to happen. So we'll see. We're hopeful.
The hustle
is
real.
Starts, big time. Christmas starts November 11th. And with that, we obviously have, Santa. We have the Magic Mickey's Christmas celebration parade once or twice a day. We haven't got the exact schedule yet.
It's going to be multiple times a day with no stars on parade. That's that's the official line. It's going to be more showings of the Dazzling Christmas Parade, but no stars on parade.
Are they putting stars on parade down like a vet?
They're putting it, definitely putting it down for Christmas season. I don't know what they're going to do with it come the first week of January, but it's being shelved for a couple of weeks, which is, judging by the amount of broken floats at the moment, it maybe needs a bit of TLC, and they can do that during Christmas.
They're better off just walking around with the characters instead of the floats these days. Nothing
Peter
works.
Peter Pan walking on the ground makes me so sad when you see what that float used to be.
I know, and the flame, Maleficent flame, is not on. Mickey and Minnie now have no platforms either. So, whatever, just move it on. But Santa does a meet and greet up until Christmas Eve, I believe, in Arcade Beta, where Minnie currently meets. And we're going to have loads of snacks. You have the fake Snope going on Main Street. In general, it's just a lovely time.
It is. It's lovely. I like this Christmas music, as you're walking down Main Street. It's really nice. And it's especially like when you said when they put the Snope on and it's just all snowy and they're playing Jingle Bells. It's just a really nice time to be there, especially if you're a Christmassy person. Like, you'll be in heaven at DLP at Christmas.
I really hope that they do Minnie singing "All I Want for Mickey is Christmas." All I want for Christmas is Mickey.
Oh, Natasha!
That's a T-shirt right there. That's a T-shirt right there.
That is. Oh, get on it, Natasha.
Moving on to another bit of kind of mad news. We have Brasserie Rosalie opening in December, which no one really knows is going to be great. Like I assume
deli?
I assume from like a food offering point of view, it's going to be good. But from a kind of a theming point of view, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be
a bit meh. I don't know. It's like one of them ones where like I'm like, it'd be great to have new food offerings, and I'm like, deli. What is it next to? Earl of Sandwich and New York sandwiches.
I know.
like
Brasserie Rosalie sounds fancy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds quite upmarket. It sounds like very like Central Parisian kind of vibes to me. But
Yeah,
looks like they're making good progress.
Cheap.
No,
it won't be cheap. So expensive deli. I don't know. Maybe deli means different in Ireland than it does in France.
Maybe.
But like deli over here is obviously your chicken fillet roll, and your the extent of your choices whether you want butter or mayo, plain or spicy.
Yeah, much the same.
Cut in half.
Yeah.
So, we shall see. I'm hopeful. Like it's a great spot, and if they do anything, just be nothing in regards to theming or any sort of hint as to what to expect inside this restaurant. So that's all we can say about it, really.
The outside progress looks good. Like, you know, on DLP report, they've done a couple of like updates on what the outside of it's looking like, and it looks like the concept art. I can't fault it. It looks good. But
yeah, looks nice and boring. You know, what can you say?
We love a bit of bland.
But something that won't be bland, and won't be boring, is the new season coming to Disneyland Paris next year. So, Symphony of Colors is going to be a kind of an ode to Disney and Pixar animation. We have a drone and nighttime show starting, I believe, January 8th. And then we have the midday parades, which is basically like everyone's just so used to Dream and Shine Brighter. It's going to replace Dream and Shine Brighter basically in that slot of kind of castle stage. Plaza stages, show 3 times a day roughly with dancing on the stages, and that starts February 10th. So I'm super excited for that. Like, if the same teams who dreamt up Dream and Shine Brighter have had a year and a half to come up with this season, then we can only hope for great things in my mind.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about this.
I am extremely optimistic. Like even the artwork that they've released on it is impressive. Like it looks like there's been some effort put in there, and if it's the same people who put together Dream and Shine Brighter, we're in for a really, really good season. And hopefully it's like a good one that they'll repeat.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen in between. So we have Mickey's Christmas parade like during the day up until January 7th or 8th, isn't it? Christmas season. And then what's going to happen from January 9th up until February 10th during the day? Are they going to just flog to death Stars on Parade?
I'm going to say nothing. Like maybe Stars on Parade once a day, but like I don't think there'd be. I don't know.
These gaps in schedule actually are a little bit exciting for me personally, because I feel that they could bring back something that's kind of light touch, or that's not like you don't have to invest a lot in bringing it back for like, you know, it's going to be a month. So a whole month that you can bring something back. Who knows?
The Frozen 2 show.
Oh, God. Well, like, for example, the Princess Cavalcade. That we didn't get this year, right? That I saw that one year during October, and it was COVID times, so like obviously they had to put out anything they could. But that was in October, like Halloween week in October. They had the Princess Cavalcade. So I mean, there's no rules here about what they can have at certain times of the year.
That might be your chance to get starting now back.
Oh, please God, what a banger! So we have a month of nothing, and like the new nighttime kind of pre-show to Dream starts on January 8th. So we have no D-Light from 1st of October all the way to January 8th again. So it's going to feel a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think empty.
I want to have a look at the prices. Like I'm going to book for January once I'm back from California. And I'm kind of thinking, is this going to drive prices down maybe a little bit if they don't have something? Is that they're going to maybe have, I don't know. It's hard to know what they're going to do, really. Like, I'd say that the prices will be like nice and hiked. I'm really glad that I have my March trip booked now and paid for, because now that they've announced all this stuff, I'm sure the prices are going to go insane. But I booked mine like a year ago, so it will be interesting. We shall see.
Speaking of interesting, confirmed we're getting an Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton BMX show in the spring. I can't believe those words go in the same sentence.
It's my favorite thing.
Oh God.
It's my favorite thing in the world. Like, this is my favorite thing that I have heard come out of Disneyland Paris in a long time. Like, I'm not even a massive Alice in Wonderland fan, but like, just Alice in Wonderland and BMX, that's so completely nuts that it has to work. And it makes more sense now that they've confirmed that it's Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, because before it was like the animated one. Like, that's a bit weird, but now that it's a Tim Burton, now that they've confirmed it actually is the Tim Burton Madness version, that it still doesn't make sense, but it is justified a bit more. I can't wait for it. I'm buzzing. Like, that's what I'm most excited for.
It's almost such a crazy concept that it's pretty much guaranteed to be amazing. That's my mind.
Yeah.
Like the theater, the kind of arena they're going to have it in is incredible. Like, that's been sitting naked for like 4 years this stage, nearly.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that, even that to be open. Like, that's going to bring so much life down into Avengers Campus area and the area behind Tower of Terror. So I'm just excited for this big time. Like, I'm not a huge Alice in Wonderland fan. I'm not a huge Tim Burton's version fan. I love all Tim Burton's, like Batman and stuff, but like wrong IP.
Yeah.
So this Alice in Wonderland, it's going to be like Tim Burton specializes in very creepy, Edward Scissorhands, almost touching horror style, like cute horror movies.
And it's going to be like, imagine like when you think about BMX and like BMX riders, how skilled you have to be for that to be your job, like how good the quality of the entertainment's going to be. These people are going to be full on pros. There's going to be insane stunts being done, and Disneyland Paris, they'll get the best of the best.
A lot of ramps, I'd say. A lot of ramps. I'm hoping for a lot of ramps.
Yeah, I'm hoping for flips. I'm hoping for danger. I'm hoping for fire, flames. Like, I have high hopes. I've got high hopes.
Speaking of things burning, your credit card might burn when you go and try and book into the Disneyland Hotel.
What a segue.
Yes, thank you. I was working on that. So we're recording this, right? And in approximately 7 days, when you listen to this, folks, all hell will have broken loose, because on September 12th, Disneyland Hotel bookings, more information opens up. Is it bookings too?
I've heard it's bookings, but like I don't know if sense. We're definitely there's a press conference on the 12th of September where they're going to reveal the opening date. I imagine that they will open bookings the same day. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully I will know that in coming days and we'll be able to share that on social, but we'll definitely know the opening date on September 12th. And it's going to be in the first quarter. First quarter of 2024 is all we know at this point.
Imagine the flood of money into the bank account of Disneyland Paris. Like, from just like like, if you're thinking that the average Disneyland hotel stay probably like €3,000 throughout the year, like, I think you're average looking at 5,000-6,000 for this hotel.
My brain is selling me 1,000 a night, like, easy, 1,000 a night.
Yeah. And
some people have told me I'm mad for saying that, but like, I really
do.
No,
like, that sounds very reasonable.
Like, when you think of like what they've done to it, and when you look at the concept art of, if the concept art matches what they've actually done inside it, they're probably I don't know if justified's the word, but like they can charge that. They will charge that. It looks fantastic. It is definitely going to be back to being the best hotel on property. For sure.
Yeah, like, I just really hope that they don't like literally close it off like to hotel guests. That there's still an experience for the plebs amongst us, just to like go into the lobby and just chill, because that was the main thing for me personally, is that it was such a chill environment, and you had inventions there like looking over the parks, and I will never stay unless someone gladly pays me to stay in anything but a bog standard room in that hotel. But like, just the experience of the hotel, like feeling special, like when you walked in, even if you weren't paying to stay there, you felt special just walking into the place.
I know, it's so royal, and so like the smells and the sounds, and like at Christmas time when they used to have the gingerbread house and everything on the lobby. like it was such a special hotel, and I really hope that when they reopen it, they've kept that sort of essence of specialness and of Walt as well. I feel like Walt's kind of influence was really, really present in the old Disneyland Hotel, especially in Cafe Fantasia. Like there was the pictures of him everywhere, and you know, I don't think it'll be as like obvious in this new sort of princess iteration of it, but like I hope they do have some kind of like nod to Walt Disney there still, because it's still the Disneyland Hotel. It's still their big one. So
yeah, and we actually forget that, like, because it's been closed for so long, that we forget that it's literally the gate to the park. So I mean, people talk about where can I stay that's really close to the park at the moment, and people say Hotel New York, but Hotel New York, like if you're walking from Sequoia and you're walking from Hotel New York and you're going into Disneyland Park, like it's pretty much the same
it's maybe an extra minute or two. Like,
yeah, like Hotel New York is not that close. Like it's the other end of the village. So once you got to go through the village, you got to go through the village. But Disneyland Hotel is literally the gate to the park, and yeah, can't wait. We got a few sneak peeks of the video teaser, and that had a few things like, I think they're going to bring in back Princess for a Day. That's not confirmed at all. Don't come at me in DMs, but it seemed like there was like a lot of photos being taken of like kids and things like that. So in one of the slides, who knows?
Yeah, nothing official yet on that. But,
no, absolutely nothing official.
But
again, like, I have no official links at all, so I cannot possibly could be right.
No, I would be surprised if something didn't appear, but like they haven't said anything whether it's going to be there or whether it's going to be the same or whether it's going to be a plussed up experience. We don't really know yet, but September 12th, I'm sure that will be something. If there is something, that's when they'll tell us about it.
Yeah,
they're going to be really selling it.
The little video had the Sword in the Stone, so I don't know, are they moving that from behind the castle? It's a big job.
It is a big job.
That whole thing into the hotel grounds, whatever. Something that we didn't plan to talk about on this podcast, and it's amongst the realms of, like, you know, things opening up or whatever, is just at a very high level. We'll talk about Walt Disney Studios, the redevelopment. That is a huge plan. It's like it's being leaked in kind of planning permission at this stage.
Yeah.
And it's just for people listening, it's effectively going to like synchronize up with the opening of the Arendelle. Arendelle Lake situation, which, and all the planning application has a end date of May 2025. So that's a long time away for that lake situation to be finished. I don't like. Can you see a situation where they would have Arendelle finished and still the front of Walt Disney Studios be a bomb site?
I don't. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but it wouldn't be a good look.
No.
Like, I think they should have everything. You know, in an ideal world, they should have Studio One ready first, and then I don't know, or have them both open at the same time. It just, I don't know. It's not a really good look to be walking through a construction site. It kind of takes the magic out of it, really, doesn't it?
Like it's a total refurb of Studio One, and basically from Production Courtyard, which is like Avengers Campus, all the way down to Crush's Coaster, they're going to make this kind of more of like an avenue vibe. They're going to have a crisscross with the promenade down to the lake, the new lake. Like with Studio One, which is like the entrance building, that's going to be closed for is it nearly a year, I think.
Yeah, they would need to be, I would imagine.
All these dates are public, yeah, so like we can just look at them. But like they're totally redeveloping the inside of that into more like, I think it's going to be like a Hollywood premiere garden party, as opposed to what it currently is, like behind the scenes job. And the back of that Studio One building, where the partner statue is, they're going to turn the statue around to face the lake. And now they're going to have a backdrop behind the statue, whereby you're not going to come out at the statue, you're going to come out left and right of the statue, and have a kind of a screen in front of them. So it looks nice. It does look nice. I'm not going to say that it's not going to be a bad job or whatever, but like it's a long time. Just when people are so used now to like the hotel being closed for so long, and I know this is so Irish of us now, but we're giving out about things being closed and we're giving out about things not improving. Like if we want things to improve, things are going to have to close. That's just the way the world works.
Look, I'm interested to see. I think Studio One does like really need something, because it's been the same since it opened in 2002. It hasn't really had any major works done to it. So like I'm excited to see what they do, but it will be a big job because that building's massive. Like there's going to be a lot to take out. There's a lot to take out, and then there'll be like, unless they do like a, what do you call it, 60-minute makeover style and have everything ready to just like drop in. like have it all ready to like put something straight in when they tear it out. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Like it is just facades, which is a positive thing where they could replace it all easy. But like they're going to obviously replace the restaurant, which is awful in that restaurant on Coulisses. It's definitely the worst restaurant in Disneyland Paris. Like it's not really because of the food or whatever. I like that Black Widow burger, but at least Cafe Hyperion has something going for it, whereby it's a big, massive, chill theater with Disney, like Mickey Mouse cartoons on the, so you can, there's a positive about going there. But restaurant on Coulisses, it's just busy because it's the only real, like apart from Star Factory, it's the only real quick service in the studios, and everyone passes by it, so everyone's just like, oh, burger, let's go.
I think it kind of got away with that. Like it was fine like that, and it was passing until Avengers Campus opened, and then all of a sudden there was like, is it called Super Diner or something, and then you've got the Star Factory, and then you've got Pym. There's a lot more options now in the studios to eat in, and you wouldn't pick on Coulisses out of all those options.
Avengers Campus is a glorified restaurant street, which just happens to have 1.5 rides in the area. and of course the Avengers themselves doing their best to save the land from concrete. But I'm looking forward to that. And sorry, that was not on our schedule here, so Megan's just been totally blindsided by that whole topic.
That's absolutely fine. Whatever.
I just thought that it was a nice little tag on to the Disneyland Hotel, because like there's an awful lot of change coming. I mean, when you look at like a pipeline of content and just things to be excited about for the next 2 or 3 years, like there's so much happening in Disneyland Paris, and we haven't even spoken a word about like California or Florida or any other park. Like I think Tokyo have a massive announcement there a few weeks ago?
Oh, I haven't even looked.
4 huge rides, I think, being announced again.
I did. I saw something about rides, but we'll think about that next in the next episode.
Like, and just a reminder, Disney does not own Tokyo Disneyland in full. Like they own 49%, with Tokyo Oriental Land Company owning 51%. So there's basically a lot of money, so they can do what they want basically, and that is why you get so much in Tokyo that you don't get anywhere else. So do not compare Disneyland Paris to Tokyo. But we can watch from afar. No.
Yeah, 100%.
We can watch from afar. Speaking of watching from afar, you're off soon. You're off very soon to lands far away. Do you want to talk a little bit about your exciting trip to your favorite park?
Yes, I'm going in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks today. I'm going to spend a week in San Francisco and then down to my beloved Anaheim for Disneyland. I've got quite a lot planned, but not. Well, I booked a princess breakfast, which I'm really excited about because I've never done a princess breakfast over there. And then just getting stuck into all the spooky season offerings. And there's been so much more added. It was only 10 months ago since I was last there, and they've already got 2 new lands for me to look at. And like, this is the thing. These parks have 2 new lands in the space of 10 months. Like, what's going on? So I haven't seen San Francisco yet, and I haven't seen Toontown. So I'm really excited about those, and getting a cuddle from Baymax. Oogie Boogie Bash, I've got that one of the nights. Going to meet some cool villains, and it's going to be really good. I'm so looking forward to it. Looking forward to throwing all my money, all my savings at it, as always. Bringing back some cool merch. That's it.
They're gonna scrape you off Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Oh, I will be just on a constant, like, I just like come off it and get back on it, come off it and get back on it. Like I already know it's going to be my favorite ride. I can feel it already. And I'm going to Minnie's house. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing out of everything. I'm going to get to go inside Minnie Mouse's actual living space. I'm going to be obnoxious. Everyone's going to hate me. They're going to have to clear the place out and let me do my thing for like at least an hour. Yeah, like I can't wait. I'm so excited.
How are you going to handle Mickey in his teenager outfit?
Yeah,
don't say the
so
words.
Awkward.
Don't say the words that you want to.
I know. It's so awkward. I mean, love that he's got a nice new outfit and stuff, but it's an interesting choice. But I'll definitely meet him in it.
Very attractive.
If I see him. He's very handsome. He's always been very handsome, but he's very youthful looking, I would say, in his new outfit.
Yeah. He's youthful. He's the kind of fella you wouldn't want your daughter to mess around with it when she was, in her teens. Anyway, that's for sure. Probably has a fancy car or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that he didn't pay for himself. But we'll digress. No.
And you have the overlay of Haunted Mansion.
Yes, Haunted Mansion Holiday. I haven't looked. They changed the house. There's a gingerbread house kind of thing inside that, and they changed what that looks like every year. And but so far, like, it's only been open a day or two, but I have avoided the spoilers because I want to see it for myself, like what the house looks like this year. But oh god, see if I could bring anything like to California or to Paris from California. Like the Haunted Mansion Holiday overlay would absolutely be one of them. It's just insane, especially even if you're not even a massive Nightmare Before Christmas fan. It's so impressive, and it's so impressive how quickly they turn it around from regular Haunted Mansion into this overlay, because there's so much they do. It's not just putting in the odd animatronic or whatever. They literally do the whole thing, and it's a totally different ride. It's crazy.
It is a totally different ride. Like, I'm not going to spoil it here for you because obviously I've consumed everyone's YouTubes over the last few days. But yeah, they change every single aspect of the ride, like all the music, every room, every aspect of every room. They even put in a few little Easter eggs, which I'm interested to see if you can find them.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, and it's end to end like a brand new ride, which is crazy. I could never see Paris doing that. I think Paris is too proud of Phantom Manor to change it, and that's a nice excuse for them.
Well, it'll be the one that I'm happy enough to queue for. Like, that the queues for Haunted Mansion Holiday, understandably, are hefty, but they're worth it. So this one I don't really mind standing in a big line for. It'll be fine. And Tiana's Palace, that's my other thing. That's where I'm going to... Yes. Tiana's Palace has just opened, so that is one of the places on my list, because we haven't made any dining reservations, apart from the Princess Breakfast, which is so unlike me. But the quick service over there is so flipping good. Like, the quality of the food and everything. And Tiana's Palace has just opened there, and they've got things like gumbo, and they've got everything you could ever imagine having in Tiana's Palace in New Orleans. And the outside of it looks incredible. I'm so excited. Like, that's going to be a highlight for me as a big Princess and the Frog fan. I think it's great we're not going to get into the Splash Mountain debate, but I'm so glad to see her getting some really, really good representation in the parks that she's been overdue for a long time, in my opinion.
Big time. And for those people who can't see the video, which is only me, only I can see the video, Megan is bursting on screen right now. It's like excitement for this trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
I feel that if they could just move California to the hour and 20 minutes that it is to fly to Paris, I feel that I'd be so all over that park so much. I visited and I had no respect for the place. I just tagged it on to a West Coast driving holiday, and now I'm gagging to get back there.
Definitely go back if you can. I know. It's worth every penny, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are you flying? You're flying straight there, or are you flying through the UK, or flying through
Dublin to San Francisco.
Nice.
And I'm there for a week, and then flying San Francisco to Anaheim, because there was no part of me doing a 6-hour drive. So yeah, and then I think back the same way. I think we're going back San Francisco to Dublin. So it's a long flight, it's 10 hours, but like it'll be exciting on the way there. It'll be the one on the way back that I'll be foiled.
Yeah, into the wind.
We'll worry about that when it comes.
Yeah, that sounds like a great trip, Megan, and I can't wait. No pressure, but I can't wait for all the content. And
don't
loads. Feel like you have to put up 200 stories a day like me. I just want to see the good stuff.
I will be. Like, my highlights are going to, like, if you saw my highlights from last time I went there, I have 3 different highlight reels because I just was posting so much. So if you want Disney California spam, check out my accounts the last week, TikTok and Instagram, the last week of September. That's when it's all going to start. And I'll hopefully have enough to take me into March at the LP then.
Please God.
Yeah.
Right, so do you want to see us out?
I would love to see us out. That is a wrap on episode 7 of Irish Ears, a Disney Fancast. You can keep up to speed with us, both Stuart on DLP Tips for Irish and me on Megan Loves Magic socials. Please send us your feedback or anything you'd like to see discussed on the podcast. We have got lots of ideas that we hope to get through in the coming months.
But for now, we'll say a bientôt. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.